What's going on, everybody? Today we're talking about buying iPads. With so many versions and so many different iPads today and different accessories, it could easily get very confusing what to get, what would work for you, and most of all, the point is not to spend more than we need to. Now, the models that I'm going to cover in this video are the regular iPad, the iPad Air, and the iPad Pro. I want to talk about the major differences and why they matter. If price isn't a factor for you, then stop right here. Go get the most expensive iPad that you can with all the best accessories that you can get and call it a day, and you're gonna be very happy. You can spend almost $3,000 on an iPad these days, but is it worth it? Or should you spend $350? This is what we're here to find out. Now, let's start with the cheapest iPad, which starts at $350. So if you're going with the cheap iPad, I recommend that you actually stay with the cheapest version of the cheapest iPad. That means the least RAM, least gigs, no upgrades, no anything. If you're just getting the cheapest iPad, don't even bother doing anything extra. Stay at the low price point and you will probably be very happy with what you get. You still get 5 CPU cores, 4 GPU cores, the Retina display, 4 gigs of RAM, which these days is, okay-ish, barely, but the iPad performs really well, so, you'll be just fine with doing regular things. Comes with 128 gigs of storage. The screen has 500 nits of brightness, which we're gonna talk a little bit how that compares to the other iPad. Technically, it's still compatible with Apple Pencil, and you can get a keyboard for it, which is actually really great. Even though it's not the Magic Keyboard, something's better than nothing. It does not have Face ID. It has Touch ID still. It doesn't have the M chip in it. It's got the A16, but they'll probably carry you just fine if you're looking just to watch some YouTube, browse the internet and Reddit and things like that. It'll be just fine for completely normal tasks. If you have never had an iPad, or if you are giving one to the kids, just get that one and you'll be more than happy with it. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I actually have a really old iPad. I think it's like 6 years old, and we use that to have the kids watch YouTube and Netflix and things like that. For the basics, I know that this new iPad is definitely gonna get you to where you need to go. Moving on to the iPad Air. The iPad Air is actually, I think, the best for most people. You can stop the video right here. If you are looking for something better than the basic, but you don't want to spend all the money that the iPad Pro requires, the iPad Air is a perfectly great machine for you. There's some really good features and accessories that the iPad Air supports that are perfectly fine for 90% of the people. It comes with the M3 chip, which is more than fast enough. It has 8 gigs of RAM, 8 CPU cores, 9 GPU cores. It supports both of the new Apple Pencils and has Apple Pencil Hover. You can connect the Magic Keyboard to it, and you can get it with up to 1 terabyte of storage. It has 600 nits of brightness, which is 100 nits brighter than the regular iPad. It has Apple Intelligence, and it has an 11 and a 13-inch option. Honestly, this covers 90% of what people want to do with their iPads and will be absolutely fine buying this option. Whether you want the 11 or the 13, that's up to you. The 13 is probably better for most people just because it's nice to have the bigger screen. I am a bigger screen person. I enjoy the 13-inch screen much better, but if you're looking more portability, then the 11 is just fine. Now, this iPad has the M3 chip in it, so it already has the longevity built into it. This will last you 3 to 4 years easy. So if you are a regular person or somebody who's never had an iPad, but you want to jump into the iPad game a little heavy, the iPad Air is it. Now, I say always, I am a fan of going with the basic storage. Now, Apple charges a lot of money for storage. The price increases in storage is quite a bit. So you're gonna pay a lot of money between 128, 256, 512, and 1 terabyte of storages. You can go get a terabyte of storage for fairly cheap, and you can transfer it over and over and over to other iPads and just have that as your external storage. But you may be different. I have friends who are more than happy to buy the highest storage capacity that an iPad offers because they love keeping everything in the iPad, and I also understand that point. Okay, that being said, let's talk about the boss of the iPads, the iPad Pro. Currently, I am running an iPad Pro M1 with the Magic case. I love my iPad Pro, but I have to say, that I am a heavy user. I do all my notes, all my organizations on this. I do all my editing, video editing on the iPad. I have done it for 4 years so far, and I'm running the M1 and I'm happy with the performance. The new iPad Pro has the M4 chip. It has the tandem OLED screen, which is the only iPad that comes with an OLED screen, and I have seen it. A friend of mine has the new M4 OLED and it looks incredible. The iPad Pro is a beautiful thing. Again, if you have the money or if you need it, that's it. It's everybody. There's a lot of nice tech and a lot of nice gadgets that we don't technically need. So we have to keep that in mind. It's easy to get lost in specs and highlights and beautiful screens and OLEDs. It's like I want all of that. Don't get me wrong. I want the new M4 iPad. I can't spend that money on it, but I want it. So just keep in mind, if you have the money, buy the new iPad Pro. Whether it's the 11 or 13, that's really up to you. Buy, that is the best iPad, you will not regret it. It literally has all the extras, the most CPU and GPU cores. It has the OLED display. It has the Face ID. You're able to record ProRes on it. It has 4 speakers that sound phenomenal. It has ProMotion display, which is 120 Hertz. For some people, that makes no difference. Once you see the difference in the 120 Hertz, the smoothness of the operation, it's hard to go back to 60 Hertz, which is what the other 2 iPads have. But if you don't know the difference, you don't care about it. It has 8 gigs of RAM, unless you're getting the 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes of storage. Then the unit comes with 16 gigs of RAM. That is freaking awesome. It supports a 6K external display. It's got 1000 nits of brightness, which is almost twice the brightness of the other 2 iPads. If you watch movies a lot on this thing, this screen will probably be beautiful for you. It also supports both of the new iPad pencils, and it has Apple Pencil Hover and all of that. It supports everything. It has the Magic Keyboard with it. It has all the bells and whistles that you would want in a machine. I have the M1 with the Magic Keyboard, and I have to say, this machine with the keyboard has been my workhorse for 4 years now. It hurt when I first got it because it was so expensive, but the amount of productivity I have done because of this is actually crazy. So I vouch for the productivity portion of an iPad. You can be very productive with an iPad. I understand there's a lot of things that the iPad can't handle that you can only get on a MacBook or iMac or whatever. That I understand. But you can get away with doing 90% of your stuff on the iPad. And it's now with iOS 26 coming into play, only makes this a much better option for somebody who's looking to buy an iPad. Sometimes it's hard to justify the price prior to using a machine because you don't know if you're going to need all of that. You don't know what kind of things you're going to get into. Sometimes you don't even know the things that are possible until you get a particular machine. But I think that I can confidently say that the iPad Pro is not for newbies. If you have never had an iPad, or if you're just very, very basic, and by basic I mean just watching things, social media, scrolling, and just regular stuff like that. I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about coding and video editing and picture editing and doing all kinds of intensive actual production work. Then you're just fine with the iPad Air, 100%. Don't burn that extra money. You can put that extra money towards something else. But if you have had an iPad before, and it's not your first iPad, you know what to expect out of an iPad, you know what you want out of the machine, then you're much better capable of knowing whether you want to spend all that extra money. Like I said, you can spend up to $3,000 on an iPad. That is not chump change, you guys. This is why we're having this conversation, because these are not little dollars. The $350 iPad is fine for kids and somebody who's just very, very basic with it. Of course, it's fine. It will do what you need it to do. But for somebody who wants to play a AAA game, you can't play it on the basic iPad. you need a better iPad for that. You need the M chip, you need the GPU cores, the CPU cores, you need the better performance if you want to play high intense AAA games like Assassin's Creed, Resident Evil, and Death Stranding. So let's cover real quick. If you are buying an iPad for a kid, or if you're just stepping into the iPad world, the $350 iPad, the basic iPad, is just probably right for you. Just get that, keep it at $350, maybe even look for a sale. Sometimes they go down to $270. Get that, you'll be perfectly fine. But if you're somebody who's looking to get a little more serious with the iPad productivity and want a slightly bigger screen, a better keyboard, better storage options, then get the iPad Air. The iPad Air is great machine for almost everybody. It has the M3 chip. It's fast enough. It has enough GPU and CPU cores. It will get you to where you need to go for a long time. Or you're just a power user and you're doing some serious work with this machine, then you definitely step it up to the Pro. Or also, if you have the money to spend, get the iPad Pro. And honestly, sometimes Apple has a refurbished section in their website. There's a lot of people who have had a lot of good experiences with Apple's refurbished products. You save a couple dollars and you basically get a brand new machine. Something to think about. Okay guys, let me know, which iPad are you thinking about? Is there anything that I should have covered? Let me know in the comments. And you know what, until next time, peace. And by the way, let me know which iPad you get. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know which one you have. Let me know what you think of it. All right guys, bye.